That's hello, late tea time podders around the world. We're back. We're back. I've had my surgery. I've had my legs chopped off. No, I'm not totally. And we are back, and I'm nearly recovered. Thank you to everybody that sent me a message on Twitter, on the Twitter feed, to say get well soon, etc. Very much appreciated. And it's myself and DT back with you. DT, long time no see. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, but I'm glad to hear you're on the mend. You sat down, obviously. So can you confirm you have legs still?
No.
No, it's just I've got to take it on trust.
It would be difficult for me to do it.
To swing your leg up.
Yeah. Well, no, I won't be able to do that yet. Yeah, I'm
but yeah,
kind of.
No, it's very heartening to hear that you had you up and now you're just getting better. So good.
I started on 2 sticks. Now I'm down to 1 stick, and I've been walking outside a bit and stuff, so I'm recovering, getting there. Anyway, enough of me. You haven't tuned in to see me. We'll start off getting back into the swing of the old golf. And I must admit, I have not been watching a lot of golf just recently. But we're going to start off with the Open de France. So bonjour, tout le monde, ça va, etc. And I'll run you through the top end of the prices. For the Le Français, Billy Horschel, West Ham fan, 12-1. Rasmus Højgaard, 14s. Matt Wallace, 22s. Tristan Lawrence is 22s. Jordan Smith is 22s. Thorbjørn Olsen is 25s. And then you've got a few others around about 28s. And then the rest are obviously bigger. You sent me a great big spiel today, DT, about the history of the event. It's quite a well-established, much littered trophy with plenty of big names on it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one of the great events. It used to be held in the summer, but they've moved it now. And obviously, we saw it in the Olympics. It staged the men's competition and the women's. So that was a pretty thrilling conclusion to that one, where it looked like John Rahm was going to win it, and then Scotty Scheffler came with that late run to win gold. So yeah, we have seen it. So it's a bit of a bonus to see it again so soon, because it's a cracking course. One I've played actually.
Have you?
Yeah. Kept it. There's a lot of water on there, and I kept finding it, I have to say.
That's what when I watched it, as you say, quite a few times it's been on TV. There is a lot of water, a lot of water, isn't there?
A lot of water, yeah.
And when you're not a professional,
Beaucoup de l'eau. Is that how you say it?
What?
Beaucoup de l'eau, a lot of water.
Okay,
yeah. The water.
I thought that was the name of a player. How's old Beaucoup going to do then?
It should be, shouldn't it? It's a good name, or like a French kind of jazz band.
And live on stage, Beaucoup de l'eau.
Sure.
Yeah, when you're an amateur, your balls tend to kind of go to the water like magnets, don't they?
Yeah. On 18, I think I hit about 5 in there. I was playing with another journalist, Richard Gillis, who just couldn't stop laughing as ball after ball just kept going in. And I don't know if I completed the hole, but it would have been about 20, I think.
How is your golf going, by the way? Because you were getting back into the swing, literally, weren't you?
Yeah, well, I actually went to a kind of indoor suite today to work on my driving skills, which I will release in my next diary installment. You'll be
stay tuned.
Excited to know, yes.
Anyway, who's going to win this French thing?
Perhaps a Frenchman, It used to be a tournament where the French had a decent record. I don't know if you remember, this is one of the great moments where Thomas Lavey won the tournament 2011, and he celebrated by jumping into the water, as people do, and he broke his leg. Yeah, I know. It's sort of come back to sort of broken legs again, and sort of not really broken your legs, James, but you know what I mean. It's he brought that on himself.
So it's not as deep as it looks, then.
No, I don't know what he caught, but he jumped in. It was like filmed by this amateur photographer, and then you could see him kind of when he got. It was like, way, and then when like the adrenaline wore off as he was splashing around, you could see him go, "Oh no, what have I done here?" And he kind of limps out of the water. But yeah, he broke his shin bone, I think.
It reminds me of a friend I used to know who went sledging with his son, his young son, down this field and getting really carried away, going as fast as he possibly could to show off to his son, and basically ended up going into this hedge what he didn't realise was, and he was feet first, obviously, on this sledge, but he didn't realise this hedge backed onto a wall.
Oh, no.
Flying into the hedge, thinking, oh, the hedge will be nice and soft. Bang into the wall, broke his leg in about 5 places.
Dear.
Dangerous stuff, isn't it? Sledging and jumping into water.
Yeah, winning golf tournaments, dangerous. Yeah.
So hopefully none of these
Yeah.
contenders this time break legs, but
Yes.
hopefully they break par, and hopefully they do very well.
Yes. So not Thomas LeVay, and not Mathieu Pavon, who's been in great form on the PGA Tour, although he might have a chance. But the one I like is Victor Perez.
Okay.
Who in the Olympics, he finished in that dreaded position that Olympian never wants to finish in, 4th. So he had a real good run at it on the last day, but just missed out on the medals. But he gave the home fans a bit of a thrill. So I think he'll be delighted to be back there. Well, he said he's delighted to be back there. Very happy to be back, he says, interviewed yesterday. So he knows the history of the French players. He knows that the French players as a sort of unit have been playing really well this year, and he's been a part of that. So I think back on this course where, as well as that good performance in the Olympics, I was just checking his record in this event. It kind of doesn't look amazing, but it could have been really, really good. The last 3 starts here, miscut 30th and 16th, but in the 30th and 16th, he was 9th and 11th, respectively, after 54 holes. So he's kind of been in there. He just hasn't finished it off. But he did finish it off in the Olympics. He shot 63 on the final day. So it's a course where he can play really well. Not all the French guys have got a good record there, but he sort of hinted at doing something big there. And with that 4th in the Olympics, a couple of good knocks in this event, general confidence of playing well in the States, I think he's your man this week, Victor Perez.
I'm just looking at the prices. Some bookies, there's quite a range actually in terms of places for this. Some bookies are offering 8 places. The best you can get with 8 places is 22 to 1. That's with Sky Bet. Or you can get him as big as 28 actually for 5 places with AK Bet. How brave would you be on the pricing here? Would you take the full 8?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
We'll stick him down then on our betting slip, 22 to 1, 8 places with Sky Bet. Anything else in the old land of the snail?
The other one I was going to look at was a first-round leader bet of Paul Waring, the Englishman, who has been a first-round leader here before, and he was a first-round leader very recently in the British Masters. And he's a Liverpool fan, so he'll be in a good mood, won't he, at the moment? Top of the league. Do you know what that feels like?
Leaves everybody else cold. That nobody else cares about Liverpool.
They do, don't they? They do. They want Man City beaten.
They do, don't they? Don't That's it. That's what I would do. You can get him at 90s for Paul.
Is that outright though? I'm wanting for first round leader.
That's first round leader, yeah.
Oh, good stuff. Yeah. So 90 to 1. Yeah, that's a big old price for a guy who is a persistent fast starter.
If you shop around, because this is obviously the prices at the time that me and DT are gassing away on a Wednesday evening. But 90 to 1, 6 places with Unibet is the best we can find you on that one.
That sounds good. Yeah. So Paul Waring.
Okay. So should we fly away from Paris?
Yeah, and go to a very, very, very different looking place. I don't know. Have you seen any pictures of this golf course?
Well, before you describe it, we should tip our heads to manscaped.com. Give me a number between 1 and 6.
2.
Oh, hang on.
That's wrong
me.
Answer.
Wait, that's me appearing on the screen. Do you want me? Or should we have one of their adverts?
Why would you be appearing on it?
Well, can you remember when we went into the studio and I did a thing to camera?
I was a bit alarmed given the subject matter. What you're going to be doing when you appear?
I'll tell you what, we'll show this one. We'll play another one later.
Before we find out what Dave Tindall's best bets are for this week's golf, a big thank you to manscaped.com for their continued support of the Late Tea Time podcast. They do some fantastic male grooming equipment. It's not all about the Titleist, it's about the entire body. If you want to be well groomed, then manscaped.com is where to go. And once you're there, have a look around. And if you like what you see, quote late, as in Late Tea Time podcast, quote late when you get to the checkout bin, and you'll get 20% off and you will get free shipping. So thanks again to manscaped.com, and get busy. Get on there and get shopping.
There you go. There, bit of me, and then a bit of more high tech stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, quote late when you get onto manscaped.com, and you'll get 20% off, and you will get free shipping. But we moved across the pond now for the other event this week, and it is the Black Desert Championship. I'll run you through the top end of the prices for this one. Keith Mitchell sounds like he could. Good old Keith, 20-1. Seamus Power, 25-1. Kurt Kitayama, he's 28. Bo Hostler is 30-1. Patrick Fishburne, 33s. Chan Kim's 33s. Brian Fox, 35s. And the rest are bigger. You were describing the course.
Yeah.
Is it Black Desert?
It's up in Utah, which is obviously high up altitude, but it's kind of set in amongst black rock and lava, like volcanic. So it's going to look like what's happened there?
What are you doing?
Sorry, something just went wrong. Did I stay on air then?
You're fine. We just saw you floundering.
Okay.
Yeah. You floundered with the height of cool. You didn't panic.
Yeah, good. See, it could be an astronaut. It could be the setting. It could be the setting for like a moon landing. There you go. I've saved it there. But yeah, it looks like a sort of, they could film Planet of the Apes there or something. It won't look like any other course you've seen on the PGA Tour or any golf tournament. So it will look like, wow, this is a bit otherworldly. So we're going to play that angle of the local guy. Because,
I like this. I always like the local angle.
Because it will work particularly well this week, I think, because...
So we're looking for somebody that grew up in the shadow of the Black Mountains, are we?
Yes, and was a big fan of Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Don't know about that, but he hasn't got like a... Well, he is named after an animal kind of thing. Patrick Fishburne. Fishing animal, not really, but
Any relation to Lawrence, the actor?
Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
He's got the word burn in his name, which is good for lava, isn't it? Lava.
Yeah.
Patrick. Anyway, he grew up around these parts, so he knows what it takes. He said he practices on a course even higher. I think this is 3,000 feet above sea level. He says he does a lot of practice on one 4,000 feet above sea level, so very much at home. And when I was reading the previews, a lot of them were saying you can just bomb it on every hole, just take your driver out and whack it. But it seems to be a bit more subtle than that. And he's actually asked, he said in the press conference that he had yesterday, where's the question? He says, would you rather hit it kind of long or straight? And he says, straight all day of the week, because if you do hit it offline here, you're absolutely dead. Your ball is kind of, I don't think it'll kind of bubble up and evaporate or anything, but it will, it's gone. It's like a 2-shot penalty. So he says you need to be, he'll take accuracy all day long if you could pick one. And then he's also has like a joint interview with another guy, local guy, Zach Blair. And he says, well, you can sort of do both fish. He hits it long and straight, Patrick Fishburn. So he's got, I think he's 8th in strokes gained off the tee this so far. So he's a guy who knows the area, knows the scenery, knows the altitude, the adjustments you need to make with your clubs. And yeah, he's got the game for it as well. And he's been in really, really good form. He's got a couple of 3rd places and a 6th in recent months. So even though the market kind of knows that he's one to watch, I think he's got some clear advantages this week, Patrick Fishburn. I did just want to see his interview just to get a handle on, because sometimes they'll go, well, yeah, it's local, but I've never ever seen the place or something. But he has played it, several times. He knows it. He knows what to expect. And he did finish runner-up in a Corn Ferry tournament in Utah, so he can sort of put that local knowledge to good use.
Okay, well, you can get him as big as sort of 33s and stuff like that, but the best one I can find there, 28-1, and you can get him 8 places with 888 Sport and maybe a couple of the others as well. So I reckon that's a decent enough price, 28-1 on Patrick Fishburn. Anything else on the old
Black Desert Championship? Yeah, one more actually. There aren't many kind of with Utah connections, to be honest, in this event. But one of them, not that I'm tipping him, but one of them is Mike Weir, the Canadian Masters winner, President's Cup captain the other week. He lives in Utah, so quite good to get his thoughts on what the course is like. He likens it to the Kapalua, the course that's the plantation course that we see at the start of the year at the Century Tournament of Champions in Hawaii, which is kind of a bit wild and it's kind of wide open. I mean, it's not like an exact replica or anything, but it's interesting to hear him mention that as a course that somehow brought to mind. So it did make me just check who won this year. It's a long time ago, last January, with all these golf tournaments. And it did remind me, it was Chris Kirk won that event. There you go, another one, Captain Kirk. This looks like a Star Trek set. But he won that one, and he finished the season in pretty good form. He was 9th at the BMW. That was 2 tournaments before the Tour Championship, where he did okay on the weekend, 67-70 on the weekend, Chris Kirk. And I was debating whether to go with outright or first round leader. And I think I'm going to go first round leader. Then we've got one of each in both tournaments.
Okay.
So Chris Kirk, 3 starts ago at the St. Jude Championship, he was the first round leader there with a 64. So he's got recent history of doing it. And then you go down his record. I found another one at the Sony Open in Hawaii, not the Hawaii event I mentioned, but at least it was kind of, in a slightly left field part of the American PGA Tour circuit. So he was the first round leader there as well. That's so twice in the last 44 events he's been a first round leader, Chris Kirk. So he's a guy who can start fast. Shot 64 both times. Started other events well. You look down at it, I can see some low numbers there. I just think I slightly prefer him for that, because I think they're all new to it really. So over 4 days, maybe the classic, he's a very good player, but maybe the top end of the market will start to come through a bit.
You can get a better price on him for the first round.
Anyway, that's the other way of thinking. Yeah, that
on the outrights to win the event, he's 33-1, 8 places. Yeah. But if you look at him on the first round markets, you can get 50-1 for 6 places, 55s for 5.
Yeah, so go with the 6 places as its first round leader. But that's a good value on him, because he's just simple basics. He's been a first round leader more than he's kind of won of late. So although he has won a couple of times as well. So, just 3 starts ago he was first round leader. And he's had a bit of a break since the Tour Championship. It sometimes works out that it tends to happen in sport. You have a layoff, and when you come back, you kind of find your rhythm straight away, and then you kind of it just goes a little bit. So I reckon there's a chance he could hit the ground running, and then maybe he won't see it through. So all things considered, just the better price is obviously the biggie there, only 50 compared to 33s. I thought Chris Kirk, that little mention that Mike Weir made, just brought him to mind when I hadn't really looked at him much for this tournament.
I wonder if anybody else out there is going to thinks the same as me, or whether you do. But I know when I used to play golf quite a bit, if I missed, didn't play for a while, I actually played better when I first came back to it, because I think sometimes you get a little bit of a few bad habits when you play a lot.
Yeah.
And when you come back and you kind of just come back to play simple golf, you actually forget your bad habits a bit.
Yeah, I've definitely experienced that before. But it can just be for like the first round. I've seen it loads of times on the PGA Tour, the DP World Tour, where a guy's been off for a while. They come back and all of a sudden they click straight into gear, and you presume they'll continue it. But as the week goes on, they fade away. So might just be a bit of that with Chris Kirk, that he does find that immediate sort of click. And then goes on to maybe struggle a little bit. But I thought as a first-round leader punt, he was worth a go.
Nice one. So there we go. We got 4 names going on the Late Tee Time podcast betting slip this week. In France, the Open de France, Victor Perez, 22-1, 8 places Sky Bet. Paul Waring, 90-1, 6 places with Unibet to be the first-round leader. That was for, wasn't it? Black Desert, Patrick Fishburne, 28-1, 8 places with 888 Sport to win it. And Chris Kirk, fancy him on the first round leader market for that one. 50-1, 6 places with 888 Sport as well. DT, very good to see you again.
And you, yes. I hope your rehabilitation goes well.
And as it says on the screen there, this has been a Sports Broadcast media production. Very good to see you all again. It is nice to be back. And we will hopefully be back on a regular basis as we go through now the next few tournaments in the old golf. So gamble responsibly out there, everybody. Enjoy the golf. Hopefully we have some winning bets this week. If we don't, join us next week. We'll try and do it again next week and get some better ones. But have a good time, everybody. Cheers all.
Always gamble responsibly. Visit begambleaware.org for more information.